Hi, my name is Megan Nas. I'm a CPA and I work with small business owners to help them feel more comfortable with their money, figure out what's happening with their money, and ultimately more confident with their finances. And I want to hop on this quick video today to just tell you about a couple of the loan programs and some of the other stimulus items from the CARES Act that might be beneficial to you and your business. And I'll keep it short and sweet and I'll keep it really easy to understand, I promise. Let's take a look at the first option. The first loan I want to talk about is the SBA EIDL loan, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And this is a loan that has always been available, but only available to disaster areas. And since we are all in a disaster area now, it's available to everyone. It is a super simple process to do. You apply online. It's like a 3-page application, super easy to do. And there's one box that you want to check that's called the $10,000 like advance payment. And what this is, it's a $10,000 emergency advance. And this $10,000 can be forgiven, meaning you don't have to pay it back if you use it for specific reasons. And the specific reasons lined out on the SBA site is payroll, rent, like this is business rent, not like personal rent. Mortgage, I've seen mortgage payments and mortgage interest, but I think on the EIDL loan, it's like mortgage payments. Anyways, again, it's for business, not for personal. And then fixed debt payment. So if you use this $10,000, and I believe it's by the end of the year on these items, then you don't even have to pay it back. So that's great news and can really help you in your business. And it's available for businesses with less than 500 employees. It's also available to independent contractors and sole proprietors. Like if you have a side gig, if you have your own business and you're a sole proprietor or an LLC that's not being taxed as like an S corporation, this is available to you. And you have to use this $10,000 on payroll. Your payroll in this situation is essentially your net income, like what you pay yourself. So you are eligible for this loan, which is really great news. The two numbers that you really have to provide on this application is your gross revenues for the period listed below and the cost of goods sold. And they're wanting this information from February 1st, 2019 through January 31st, 2020. So if you have all of your bookkeeping done, it's super easy to pull up a profit and loss report for this time period and get the gross revenues and then any cost of goods sold if you have cost of goods sold for your business. This money it can be direct deposited right into your bank account, and they're saying they want to fund it within like 3 days. So once you apply, it should be a pretty fast process if you're approved to get this money. If you don't use the $10,000 for the approved reasons, then what happens is you end up rolling it into like your SBA loan, and you just have to pay it back. But the terms are actually really favorable. So it's not like you're getting a high interest credit card rate. You're getting interest rates at 3.75%. They, on their website, say the term can be up to like 30 years and the loans can go up to like $2 million. So this isn't just for small businesses and it's not just for large businesses. They're really available for businesses who fit the criteria of less than 500 employees. And that, again, does include like independent contractors, sole proprietors, and stuff like that. The way that they're funding these or approving you for these loans is basically they're running your credit score. And so you have to enter in your social security number and your tax ID along with your business name and your business tax ID. So have that information available if you're going to apply for this loan, which highly encouraging you to do so. I think that it would be really beneficial for all businesses. And you do have to basically certify that this COVID-19 pandemic is affecting you or may affect your business. So I think we're all kind of in the same boat, and there's so much uncertainty right now that I think everyone is being affected by it. So that's the first type of loan. Again, it's directly through the SBA. You apply online. Go to this link down here. Super easy to do. I promise, like if you're thinking, oh, I don't want to fill out a huge loan application, it's not that bad, I promise you. Okay, the next one is the Paycheck Protection Program. It's the PPP, and this is an SBA-backed loan, but you have to apply at your bank in order to get this loan. And what this is really for is it's incentive for you to retain your employees and make sure to pay them within like the first 8 weeks of getting this loan. And the funds are based on your average monthly payroll, and then you multiply it. You multiply it by 2.5, and it's on the loan application. It's like a 2-page loan application. The second page is really certifying and signing. So the first page, the only numbers that you're really going to have to figure out is your average monthly payroll, multiply it by 2.5, and that's the loan that you're applying for. You're asking for that much money. It's available for businesses with less than 500 employees. And again, independent contractors and sole proprietors, side gig workers, your payroll, you're eligible for this. Your payroll is your net income of your business. Income minus your expenses is your net profit, essentially, and that's what you would be using for the average monthly payroll number. The other stipulation is you have to be in operation. Your business would have had to be in operation before February 15th of 2020 in order to be eligible for this. And the Payroll Protection Program loan can be forgiven if it's used for payroll, rent for your business, mortgage payments for your business, utilities in your business, group health insurance payments, fixed debt payments, very, very similar to the SBA loan. Also, it can be forgiven if at least 75% of this loan is used for payroll. So you can't get this loan and use it to, pay everything else but payroll and have it be forgiven. And you're going to have to certify this with your banks. I believe the process is you apply for this, the bank funds it, and then in 8 weeks, you basically have to give proof to the bank that here's what you use the money for. I'm not 100% certain. I think they're still working out some of the kinks on this. The workforce can't decrease. So you can't fire your employees, pay yourself more money, pay yourself all of the money and still have it qualify. You still have to keep the same number of employees and you can't decrease your employees. You can't increase your wages by more than 25% for any employee. So you have to keep the same amount of people on. Again, it would not be a good strategy to let everyone go and just pay yourself more. And then the stipulation on this one is that you have to use this Paycheck Protection Program money within the first 8 weeks after it gets funded. So make sure that you use this. You can apply for this program and the SBA EIDL loan. You can apply for both of those as long as you don't use the funds for the same purpose. So you can't use this paycheck protection money in the first 8 weeks for payroll and then say that the EIDL loan money is also for payroll in the first 8 weeks. Some of the guidance I've seen and some of the recommendations I've seen is get the Paycheck Protection Program money, use it for payroll and these costs right away, and then use the EIDL money afterwards. It might be beneficial even to set up a separate bank account so you can track the money and how it's being used. I mean, it's really up to you how you want to do that, but you just know that you're going to have to certify like what you use this money for back to your bank with this Paycheck Protection Program. So what you'll need to apply for this Paycheck Protection Program is there's a loan application. If you Google Paycheck Protection Program loan application, there's an application that you can actually use to fill out. Again, it's like 2 pages, super easy to fill out. And then from what I've seen with working with banks is they want to see when you're calculating your average payroll, you're basically doing it on your 2019 payroll. So you'll look at like what was all the payroll that you paid in 2019, divide it by 12, that's your average monthly payroll. You'll also want to gather up like the last 4 quarters of your payroll reports. So the 2019 Forms 941 and your state unemployment insurance reports if you have state unemployment insurance. You might also want to include like a copy of the W-3, which summarizes all of the payroll for the period. It's possible they might want a copy of your 2019 return or your 2019 profit and loss and balance sheet if you don't have your tax return done. And I've also seen banks request like a copy of a payroll report that is generated in the middle of February 2020 just to kind of solidify the fact that you had payroll in February and like what the levels were. For self-employed individuals, for people who don't have payroll, but they're independent contractors, sole proprietors, and you don't have payroll other employees, it looks like some of the things that you might need to put together would be like any 1099s that you've received, like a profit and loss for your business for 2019, and would probably be something to gather up. So if you don't have your bookkeeping done, get on it. Or, and they might also want to see a copy of your tax return showing your Schedule C, where your business income and expenses are reported. So again, I just want to emphasize that you can apply for both of these loans as long as you're not using them, the same funds for the same purpose. You might have to certify that you're not going to do that. I think the banks right now, everyone's trying to figure out what's happening. So as time passes, we'll definitely have a more clear picture of what to do. So, okay. There are some other programs that might be beneficial, and I'm going to hop onto those next. There are just a few other things that I want to cover in this CARES stimulus package that I think might be beneficial to you. The first is touching upon the stimulus checks. There's a lot of questions about like when they're coming out, who qualifies, and they said that it's like 3 weeks from March 30th that they're going to be coming out. And if you have filed your 2019 return or your 2018 tax return, and on those tax returns you use direct deposit, then you will also get your stimulus payment direct deposited into your account. If you owed money or you did not have direct deposit, then they're currently setting it to where you're getting a paper check. I read somewhere that they were going to possibly create a website where you could enter your direct deposit information in, but I haven't seen anything else on that, so that might be something that is coming down. If you don't have your 2018 return or your 2019 return filed, then apparently you're not eligible for a stimulus check, so get those tax returns filed. And okay, so here's who's getting checks. The payments are $1,200 per person. If you're single or married filing separately, and your adjusted gross income was less than $75,000, you get the full stimulus check. If it's from $75,001 all the way up to $99,000, then you get prorated, like you get a partial stimulus payment. And then if your income goes over $99,000 and you're single, married filing separate, you're not eligible for a stimulus check. If you're married, basically those numbers are doubled. So if your adjusted gross income is less than $150,000, you get the full thing. If it's between $150,000 and $198,000, you'll get a partial. And if it's more than $198,000, you're not going to get anything. If you have children, then they are eligible for a $500 stimulus credit. Yes, so they have to be 16 or under. If your child is 17, then you don't qualify for the stimulus check, which is kind of a bummer. So if you haven't filed your tax return and you have an adult child, and you're not getting any kind of like college credits or something like that, it may be beneficial to have the child file themselves and not as a dependent. It really depends on your individual tax situation. So if you haven't filed your tax return yet, talk to your tax person and see what's going to be more advantageous for your taxes and for the stimulus package. But I would definitely try to get your tax returns done as soon as possible if you are doing something like that. One other provision that might be really beneficial to you as an individual and as a business owner is you have the ability to pull out up to $100,000 of your retirement money and not incur the tax penalty. And if you end up paying that money back, then you don't actually have to pay taxes on it either. So you're able to essentially in that situation, you'd be taking a loan from your retirement account, using it to pay your expenses now. And then if you applied for the SBA, like the EIDL loan or the PPP loan, then when those funds come in, you can use that money to pay back your retirement account there. So there are some really good strategies on how to use the funds to maximize your cash flow right now and stuff like that. If you end up taking the money out of your retirement account and you don't end up paying it back, then you actually have a couple years to pay the taxes on that. So you're not going to have to pick up $100,000 of income on your tax return this year. It essentially gets spread out between 2021 and 2022. So that's an option for you there. If you need to access your retirement accounts, you can do that and not have to pay the 10% penalty on an early withdrawal. Really important. One other thing with retirement accounts is if you're in a position where you're taking required minimum distributions every year, that's suspended for 2020, so you don't have to take a required minimum distribution. And if you have already taken part of your required minimum distribution and you don't want to, If it's done within like 60 days, you can put the money back and it's not an issue. And I think if it's longer than 60 days, if you talk to your advisor, they might, I think from what I've read, if you talk to your advisor, they can basically apply it to be part, like you can pay it back essentially and not have it be counted. So talk to your financial advisor. They definitely probably have a lot more information on how to do it if you've already taken a part of your distribution that you didn't really want to. One other provision that's out there is unemployment insurance. So if you have a business that, if you're an employee and you got laid off, you're, eligible for unemployment insurance. And it looks like there's an extra $600 a week that is going to be added to your unemployment insurance benefit. And from what I've seen, that $600 a week is kind of extended through July. Normally, your unemployment benefits are like 26 weeks, and it looks like they're going to be extended to 39 weeks. So giving you a little bit more time. Another thing that you can do is if you are a business owner and you have to basically like close your business because you're a non-essential business or like you just don't have any work and you can't do anything, you could lay yourself off and collect unemployments. What you want to do is be really strategic about it. Is like, is it going to be more beneficial to claim unemployment, or is it going to be more beneficial to have the Paycheck Protection Program loan? Like, which is going to be more beneficial? You might have to be strategic about it. Reach out to your tax person. They can help you figure out which is going to be the most beneficial for you. There are also some provisions as an employer. If you pay your employees if they are sick, if they are taking care of someone who's sick, if they can't come to work because the schools are closed and they have to take care of their kids. There are tax credits out there to where you can pay under the Family Medical Leave Act. You can pay those employees and then basically the government will reimburse you for that money. So those are other options out there. If you're not taking advantage of the PPP, the payroll protection, and you end up having to pay someone under FMLA, then you can get some tax credits for your money that you've paid to your employees, which is really beneficial. You do have to be careful though. I don't think that if you're taking advantage of the SBA EIDL loan or the PPP loan, then I don't think you can double dip and also be getting credits for payroll taxes paid, to employees and like some of the credits that are available under FMLA. So you can't double dip in those scenarios. So you have to be careful. If you're doing the loan programs, then I don't believe you're eligible to do some of the other programs where you're getting credits for your employers, where your employees' taxes and the wages that you're paying. So I hope this was helpful. I don't want to get into too much detail and overwhelm you. If you're a small business, definitely look into the SBA EIDL loan. If you have payroll and you feel like that would also be beneficial, look into the PPP loan. Both loans are super easy to apply for. Don't let that intimidate you. And if you want to put together some tax strategies, definitely reach out to your tax person and see which is going to be, or reach out to your CPA, see which is going to be most beneficial, like to do the PPP, take unemployment, like there's a lot of options out there and ways to be strategic about it. So I hope this is helpful. Thank you so much for watching this. And if I get any more information, I will definitely update you as I get it. Thanks. Bye.